Do you have free will? You might say, of course I do, unless I'm being forced by someone else, or I'm otherwise restricted in my behavior. I can do whatever I please. But are you really? Maybe you've heard of the word determinism. It's the philosophical view that all events are determined by previously existing causes. But if everything is part of a cause and effect chain, going back all the way to the Big Bang, how are you truly free? Could you really claim to be the true author of your actions? After all, you're part of this universe and subject to the laws of physics. You're not free to disobey the law of gravity, or free to go without water more than a couple of days. Your brain, the thing that's supposed to harbor this free will, is not outside of the physical universe. It's subject to the same laws. It's not exempt from the rule of causality. Your brain has evolved over millions of years through natural selection. Your identity, your memories, your likes and dislikes have been shaped by a combination of your parents' genes, your upbringing, your environment, and all the experiences you gathered throughout your life up to this very point in time right now. So imagine you're sitting in front of the TV, deciding on what Netflix movie to watch. And this choice is completely up to you. There's no friend or spouse telling you their own preferences. It's just you and your own mind. On the view of determinism, the choice has already been made for you by the universe. You might think, I'm gonna pick The Godfather because it's a classic and I haven't seen it in a while, when in fact, from the perspective of the universe, or you might call it God, you were always going to pick The Godfather. So you see, determinism and free will can't both be true. The view that is so is what's called incompatibilism. There are, however, some philosophers, Dan Dennett most notably, who argue that we have free will, even though we live in an otherwise deterministic universe. How is such a position possible? What Dan Dennett calls free will is when an agent has freedom to act according to their own motivation, without being coerced or restrained. I believe this definition fails to get at the essence of what most people mean by free will. Most people have the felt sense that they could have done otherwise if the universe were turned back in time to the exact conditions of before. And it is this felt sense that Dan Dennett's definition of free will fails to capture. Arthur Schopenhauer famously said that man is free to do what he wills, but he's not free to will what he wills. In other words, although you might often be free to act according to your motives, the nature of that motive is determined.